Hi guys, welcome to TradingView Mobile. Today we're going to be reviewing something that's so crucial. It's something that all of you guys need to know in order to have success as traders. You must understand this from head to toe, and that is candlesticks, right? So what are we going to be reviewing today? We're going to be reviewing a few key components of candlesticks. The first thing we're going to talk about is the type of candlesticks that we're using. The second thing we're going to talk about is what the difference is between bullish and bearish candlesticks and how to identify them. The third thing that we're going to be reviewing is the actual components of this candlestick, right? Which is the body, which is the wick, which is the open, and which is the close, right? So we're going to be explaining how these work, how to identify it, and how they all work together to tell us a story. That's what the chart is doing. All these candlesticks are telling us a story. And in case you're wondering, like, how does this candle, like, how do we decide what this candle represents and what this candle represents, etc.? Each candlestick is actually representing a time frame, right? Which we are going to be setting. This specific candle is set to, this specific chart, I should say, is set to 1 hour, right? So that means that every single candlestick represents 1 hour of time, right? And if you guys look at the bottom, well, right now towards the left corner, it actually shows us specifically what that specific candlestick represented. So it obviously represented 1 hour, we know that. But this specific candle represented 2 p.m. on March 19th, which was a Thursday, right? So naturally, the next candle is going to be 3 p.m. The next candle after that's going to be 4 p.m. and so forth. So every single candle is broken into 1 hour time frames. And if we were to switch our time frames, then these candles would change. If we switch it to 30 minutes, then each one of these candlesticks would then represent 30 minutes instead of 1 hour. So let's go ahead and get into the material. The first thing we're going to review, what kind of candlesticks are we dealing with? So we're actually dealing with a very popular type of candlestick. It's very simple. It's the reason that we use it, and that is Japanese candlesticks. Okay. I'm not going to give too much of a broad explanation on this topic. Just know that we've researched many different types of charts and candles, and we find that Japanese candles are the best at giving us the information that we need, right? The next thing we're going to be going over is bullish versus bearish. So I'm going to give you the simplified version first. Bullish candles, at least the way we have our settings right now, are green, and bearish candles are red, right? But it's more than just the color. Bullish candles are actually representing that time frame rising, right? So these candlesticks rose in price, right? It went up. It made the price go up. So these bullish candlesticks represent the market increasing. These bearish red candlesticks represent the market decreasing, right? So everything started selling. And then here with these green candlesticks, it started buying. And with this red candlestick, it started selling. And with these green candles, it started buying, and so forth. We need to remember that the market is a constant war between two forces, the buyers and the sellers, right? Which leaves us with these patterns that are almost like art, honestly. And they really are. Like, you guys are going to discover how powerful these patterns are, right? But we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of our video, which is identifying the different components of these candles, right? So these candles, like I said, have 4 different components. The first component is the body, right? So what is the body? Do you guys see how there's lines, like they look like little sticks here? But then there's this solid part in the middle. So these solid parts in the middle are called bodies, right? And they represent the most stable part of that price change, right, during that hour. Now, these little wicks, we call them wicks, these little sticks. These little wicks represent areas of rejection, right? So they're areas that the candlestick did explore. It explored these price ranges, but essentially this was the most stable part of the price, right? So we have, again, body, and then wicks. And some candlesticks have wicks, some candlesticks don't have wicks. As you guys can see, this candlestick was all body, right? This candlestick had, this candlestick had a bigger wick at the bottom and a smaller wick at the top. Some candlesticks only have one wick, although I don't know if I'll find one here, right? Look at this candlestick. This little tiny shred here is still considered the body, right? Even though it's thin, that's still its body. So that's the difference between body and wick. Now we also need to learn about open and close. So I'm going to give you guys a quick analogy so that you understand, right? Because essentially, I'm going to show you for this candlestick here, the open was exactly right here. And the close was exactly right here. Right where that body ends and the wick starts, right? Now, why is that? Why is my opening here and my close there? I'm going to show you guys really quick. I'm going to take some green candles so I can show you guys where the open and close is. So for this green candle and all green candles, the opening is down here and the close is up here. So you might be asking yourself, why is it that bearish candlesticks, the red, have an opening at the top and a close at the bottom, yet green candlesticks, bullish candlesticks, have an opening at the bottom and a close at the top? Why are they opposite? So I want you guys to imagine you are right here, right? Again, we're looking at a bearish candlestick that's red, so the opening would be here, right? You are on the 15th floor and you want to get down to the first floor, right? Let's pretend that there's an elevator right here and you need to get down here, just as an example, okay? Now, in order to get down here, are you going to go up or are you going to go down, right? Logically, if you want to go from the 15th floor to the first floor, you have to start on the 15th floor. That's your opening. That's your starting position. And you're going to go downwards and close, right? Your end position is going to be on the first floor, right? And this can be applied to any of these candlesticks, including the one that I labeled. We're here, we want to get down to the first floor. We'll start here, open, and we'll end here, close, right? But let's say that we're actually on the first floor and we're trying to get to the 5th floor. So if we're starting on the first floor, we're not going to go down to the basement. We're going to go up to the 5th floor, right? We're going to go up to get to the 5th floor. So we're going to start here. Here's our opening. And we're going to end here. Here's our close, right? Let's say that got us to the 3rd floor. And we're like, hey, we actually still need to go up a few more flights. We start here and we end here. We open down here, we close here, right? 4th floor. We open here, we close here, right? And again, how these wicks were created is because even though we opened here, price wanted to explore this area, but it said, nope, we're not going down that way. And that's how that wick was created. Then price said, okay, I think I want to explore this way. And rejection said, nope. By the time, let's see, this candlestick is representing March 17th, 2026 at, let's see, 12:21, 9 p.m., right? 2100 hours would be 9 p.m. So if you guys want to follow along, look towards the bottom, right above our tools menu, we see that date and time, right? So if price, I'm just moving over my cursor so you guys can clearly see this wick. If price decided to come up here, but then had that rejection, right? And this is the 9 o'clock. This is the 9 o'clock candlestick. That means that at 8:59, or I'm sorry, at 9:59, the candlestick closed here, right? And then opened next door at exactly 10 p.m., right? And then did the same thing. Wanted to explore down here. Decided to go in the other direction. Try to go above. At 10:59, boom. Closed right here. Opened right up to 11 p.m. and so forth. And that's pretty much how that works, guys. And I did write down a few examples. And I will be dropping all of this for you guys down in our chat, right? I'll let you guys know what a bearish candlestick is, what a bullish candlestick is, what a body is, what a wick is, what an open is, and what a close is, okay? If you guys have any questions still, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll be following up with everyone as soon as we're able, especially around this topic. This is a very, very important topic. So make sure that you do reach out to us and let us know of any questions you may have.